morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is English Bulletin. With me, it's Abhatrai. The top stories first. Resident leaders of NCP call mass protest today. Demonstrations to be held across the country. Chinese delegation delivers a special message from President Xi Jinping. Holds meeting with political party leaders. Government to take action against defaulting sugar mills. Warned operators to pay the farmers' dues within 3 weeks. Police charge army officer for killing labourers in Kashmir. One of the persons involved in the murder to testify for the state. And Barcelona's star striker Messi announces a summer exit from the club. Hence, he might join MLS in US soon. And now, the news in detail. The Dahal Nepal faction of Nepal Communist Party is all set to hold a nationwide protest today against the dissolution of House of Representatives. The dissident faction of the ruling party has termed the decision taken by the government to dissolve the law house as unconstitutional. The Dahal Nepal group has formed a 2,501-member struggle committee under the coordination of NCP leader Narayan Kaji Shrestha to organize the protest. The disgruntled leaders have urged all of their supporters and well-wishers to take part in the protest called for today. The NCP faction is planning to take out rallies from Kuleshwar, Teku, Tripureshwar, Kupandol, Naxal, Lainchar, Maitadevi and various other places and then convene a mass meeting at Ratna Park. Executive Chairman Pushpa Kamal Dahal and Chairman of the dissident faction Madhav Kumar Nepal will address the mass rally. The high-level Chinese delegation currently in Nepal is busy in political meetings. The Chinese delegates held separate meetings with Executive Chairman of the NCP Pushpa Kamal Dahal and Madhav Kumar Nepal yesterday. The 4-member Chinese delegation led by Vice Minister of the International Department of the Chinese Communist Party, Gu Yaozhou, arrived in Kathmandu in a special flight on Sunday afternoon. The delegation has arrived in Nepal with the message of Chinese President Xi Jinping at a time when the NCP is on the verge of splitting into 2 groups. Gu's team held a meeting with Dahal at his residence in Kumaltar for 2 hours. Meanwhile, Leader Nepal's Secretariat informed that the Chinese delegation discussed about bilateral issues and the current status of the ruling Nepal Communist Party after the Prime Minister dissolved the parliament. Chinese ambassador to Nepal Hao Yanqi had facilitated the meeting between the leader Nepal and the visiting delegates. The Chinese delegation has already met with President Vidya Devi Bhandari and Prime Minister KP Oli on the arrival day. The team is scheduled to hold meetings with other leaders during its 4-day visit. A writ petition has been filed in the Supreme Court demanding to scrap Prime Minister Oli's latest act of cabinet expansion. Advocates Lokendra Oli, Keshar Kesi and Dinesh Lamachane filed the writ petition yesterday. The hearing for the writ petition has been scheduled for tomorrow. The petitioners have claimed the cabinet expansion as unconstitutional when the House of the Representatives remains dissolved. Both Prime Minister and President have acted beyond the powers conferred to them by the Constitution. Therefore, the cabinet expansion based on Article 133, Subclause 2 and 3 of the Constitution is unlawful and hence should be quashed, Advocate Lokendra Oli said. According to Article 77, Subclause 3 of the Constitution of Nepal, if the office of Prime Minister falls vacant, the same Council of Ministers shall continue to act until another Council of Ministers is constituted. Therefore, Prime Minister Oli currently holds the position of acting Prime Minister and does not possess such power, the writ petition has stated. Similarly, the writ petition has also alleged President Vidya Devi Bhandari of failing to perform her prime duty of respecting and protecting the Constitution. The ministers from Pushpakamal Dahal, Madhav Kumar Nepal-led factions resigned jointly last week after Prime Minister Oli dissolved the parliament. Prime Minister Oli on December 25 reshuffled and expanded the latest cabinet. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The Ministry of Home Affairs has recommended promotions of 9 senior superintendents of police. A committee headed by the Secretary at the Home Ministry made the recommendations for the promotion. Those recommended for promotion to the post of Deputy Inspector General include SSP Ganesh Bahadur Iyer, Purushottam Kadil, Rajesh Kumar Lal Karna, Dr. Dev Bahadur Bohra, Dibesh Lohani, Ram Krupal Shah, Umesh Ranjitkar, Prakash Adhikari and Mukund Raj Acharya. The Council of Ministers had added 5 more posts of DIG more than a month ago, while 4 posts were lying vacant. Therefore, the committee recommended promotions of 9 SSPs to fill the vacant post. SSP Lohani had made headlines in the infamous gold smuggling case but was later acquitted by the court. His actions of kicking a journalist in a live video had gone viral about a year ago. In other news, coronavirus has claimed 7 more lives in the country, taking the death toll to 1,832. The government yesterday confirmed 459 new cases of coronavirus across the country following the latest round of tests. The total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 258,640, while the number of active cases has dropped to 6,427 from the overnight tally of 6,493. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 245,581 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country so far. Nepal is currently among the top 40 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The US tops the list with 19.77 million confirmed cases, followed by India with 10.22 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 81.65 million people across the world and claimed 1.78 million lives. And now the news from economic front. Government has decided to initiate action against sugar mill owners who fail to pay the due amount of sugarcane farmers. Addressing the demands after the long and continuous protest by farmers, the government has concluded all sugar mill owners that fail to provide the due amount to farmers within the next 21 days will be put behind bars. The government and sugarcane farmers reached a 4-point agreement at the Ministry of Agriculture yesterday. Freezing the bank account of sugar mill owners that have failed to pay farmers have also been added in the agreement with the ministry. Different sugar mills are yet to pay more than 900 million rupees to the sugarcane farmers. The government last year too had directed the sugar mill owners to make immediate payment to the farmers. The farmers once again had to sit for demonstration after being empty-handed even after 1 year of the promise. The farmers had been protesting for more than 16 days in the chilly weather of Kathmandu for the payment. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international and sports news. Welcome back, and now the international news. Police in Kashmir filed charges against an army officer and a civilian for allegedly killing 3 labourers and planting weapons to pass them off as militants. According to Reuters, it is a rare indictment of the military fighting an insurgency in the region. The news agency said that the 3 labourers were killed in July after what the Indian Army had initially said was a gun battle that started after militants fired at security forces in Amishpora village in southern Kashmir. But Kashmir police, who come under the direct control of the central government in New Delhi, said in a press release on Sunday that their investigation showed the labourers were murdered by an army captain and 2 civilians. One of the civilians involved in the killing has reportedly agreed to testify for the state. They planted illegally acquired weapons and material on their dead bodies after stripping them of their identities, police said, adding that the accused had deliberately and purposefully chosen not to follow standard operating procedures. The Indian Army denies the charges, saying that the Army is committed to ethical conduct of operations. Rights groups have long accused the Indian Army of violating human rights in Kashmir, a Muslim-majority region that is claimed in full by both India and Pakistan, but ruled in part by both. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Barcelona's captain and Argentine forward Lionel Messi has expressed keen desires to play in the United States one day in future. The star striker will be able to begin negotiations with other clubs regarding his future in January. The Argentine said he is still unsure of his future after his contract expires in June, albeit international sports tabloids have reported offers from bigger clubs like Manchester City and Paris Saint-Germain. According to Sky Sports, Messi came close to departing the Camp Nou after handing in a transfer request in the summer, but he reluctantly decided to stay at the club. Josep Maria Bartomeu, former president at Camp Nou, insisted that Messi's £700 million release clause had to be met for him to leave. BBC has cited Lionel Messi from his interview with the Spanish television channel La Sexta as saying, "I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to wait until the season ends. I would like to play in the United States and experience life and the league there, but ultimately come back to Barcelona in some capacity," Messi added. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Dissident leaders of NCP call mass protests today, demonstrations to be held across the country. Chinese delegation delivers a special message from President Xi Jinping, holds meeting with political party leaders. Government to take action against defaulting sugar mills, warns the operators to pay the farmers due within 3 weeks. Police charge army officer for killing labourers in Kashmir, one of the persons involved in the murder to testify for the state. And Barcelona's star striker Messi announces summer exit from the club, hints he might join MLS in the United States soon. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website at janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.